Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Got Balls podcast. My name is Steve Trudeau. I am your host for this podcast. And with me, Mike Lameda, Manuel Pacheco. Guys, how are you?
Hey.
Doing well here, guys.
Mute.
No,
And-
Charlie, you're not muted, Charlie.
Jumping off a cliff with two German bisexuals.
And with us today, two
Guys, we can hear everything you're
two
saying.
great friends that you can hear right now, Bethan and Charlie from Scotland. Guys, how are you?
Did you think Trudeau's a bisexual? Is that what I heard?
Sweet man, brand new.
Our new friends from Scotland.
Trudeau's a bisexual. It's podcast by Charlie Robinson.
Well, this is going well.
Started off pretty good.
And also, our good friend with us, Tan Wen.
Ton, go ahead. Go ahead. You're waiting patiently.
Actually, I got a question for our friends in Scotland.
Yeah, he's been very patient.
Yeah. With the whole COVID going on last year, how was it over there? How was the lockdown for you guys?
Really, Tan? That's where we're starting.
I'm curious, man.
In the UK.
In the States, it's different. In the States, also, I wonder how it's like in Scotland, you know?
Well, to be honest, we just carried on our life as normal. You know, it didn't affect us so badly. And I don't even know how to explain it. I just carried on life as normal. You know, I didn't pay any attention to the news. I didn't watch.
Wasn't really anything that was that bad that you couldn't live your life normally.
You know,
to be
because if you didn't watch the television or watch the news, you would not know there was a pandemic going on. You look outside your door and everybody's going about their business. You know, things are normal. The only thing that would tell you there was a pandemic going on is the daily news. So
Yeah.
it was very strange, very strange.
Yeah. It was the same
And
for me.
my job wasn't affected at all. You know.
Yep.
Well, in America, it was very similar to the first war in Braveheart. It's the same thing. People going at each other, people storing toilet paper, hiding the toilet paper. It was crazy, man. People painting their faces and storming the Capitol.
I was ready on the day, you know, just in case like we ran out of toilet paper.
That did actually happen. Yeah. It's all very fucking. It seems cultish, you know, like tribalism. There's the people that, you know, want to wear the mask and do. They seem like very. I don't know. I don't want to say brainwashed or whatever, but they're in this kind of
Bubble.
this bubble of adult belief. It's like a religion. It's become a religion to believe in all this sort of like stuff they hear on the television. And
Yeah.
for me, sort of not really buying into it all, it's very strange. You know, it's very fucking strange.
Yeah, for me, I felt the same way because like where I was, the smaller area I was, it didn't really affect us that much. And when I was at work, it was we still worked. We were vital, so we continued to work. And it seemed like we carried life on, like you said, like nothing happened, and it was just weird. The only time you ever thought about the pandemic was when you heard about the news. So I thought the same thing. But then there was a friend of mine from New Jersey.
Yeah.
We met up just recently, like a month ago. We went to Mexico together for a big like couples like trip. And I asked him, "Hey man, so you were in Jersey? Like, how was it? Like, he was a postal. He worked in the post office, and he worked in the Bronx. He was saying like every week you would see people being carted out of the building, you know, with a blanket covered. So like for him, it was, like different regions, it was hit hard and like it was real. And so like that's when I was like, and this guy, he doesn't lie, and I took his word, and I'm like, oh yeah. So like for me, I carried on life like normal because I was in my own little bubble, isolated. But for him in his little corner of the world, like the stuff that it was hitting hard, you know. So it brought a whole perspective to it. So,
Yeah, and it must be interesting for you, Tom, because now you're living in Florida, which is a complete different animal, right?
oh yeah, it's just like I love it here, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Moved between during it.
So you got to give us an update, Ton, about what's going on in Florida, because you said you had some stories for us about the crazies of Florida, some good Florida man stories for us.
Not any crazies, but dude, it's just amazing down here. My happiness level went up. Just down here, everything's amazing. Sunny all the time. It rains every once in a while, but even when it rains, it stops. It rains for like 5-10 minutes, it goes away, and it's just like sunny and sunshine, man.
Do you have a pet alligator yet?
Yeah. Sunshine's good for you.
I see some alligators. I heard some alligators. They sound like bullfrogs.
Have you been to Disney World yet?
Not recently, but I've been here like a while ago.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Aladdin.
Oh,
cool.
yes.
So is that going to be our segue to movies? Is
Yes,
that gonna
see, Mike's a master of movies and segues. So
so good at this? Mikey,
Today-
you should do this for a living.
So today's show is going to be very movie centric. We had a lot of sports last week. We want to kind of push off of that and just have a good time. So we're joined by our friends from Scotland and our friend from just as far away and probably a crazier place, Ton in Florida. So we want to get some movie opinions, thoughts. But let's start with that, Mikey. I like that. Favorite Disney movie of all time. So Tom, we got you with Aladdin, right? Is that your answer, Ton? Or do you want to change that now that you know it's your final?
Favorite Disney movies, Aladdin. But are we sticking to just movies, or are we also doing like TV shows, series?
Nah, just movies today.
We'll see where we get. We'll start with the movies. So I don't know if they have Disney movies out there in Scotland. So you guys might not be equipped for this. But I mean, it's probably just Braveheart, right, for movies. But if it's not, what is your favorite Disney movie there?
It's not,
Yeah, that's all that's ever played.
it's not the
Just
Middle
20
East, man. We've got Disney movies.
I just thought it was 24/7 Braveheart on loop on the television. But all jokes aside,
BBC Braveheart, that's all it is.
And Craig Robinson, right? Was that the guy's name?
Isn't that the guy from The Office?
I don't know who Craig Robinson is.
Then why did you say his name?
Because that's what Bethan and Charlie were talking about. But Craig Robinson, he has a like late night show, right? Is that who it is?
Charlie Robinson.
Oh shit, Charlie Robinson. I was wrong.
No,
Go on,
Charlie
Churro.
Robinson.
Bethan and Charlie.
Just think
Together,
Charlie.
what is your
Charlie
favorite-
Robinson.
Okay, what was your favorite Disney movie? Can they not hear me?
I don't like Disney movies, man.
Oh, there.
Wow,
There you go.
he's too cool. He's taking a drag from his
Nick,
cig.
you're exciting.
Disney movies
Drinking-
have some like underlying satanic shit going on in them and that.
Yeah,
Oh.
like the Little Mermaid. Did you hear the story of the Little Mermaid? How it's actually the underlying messages and stuff like that in the Little Mermaid. It's actually not good for people.
Okay,
What's
what's your
the underlying
what's your
messages? Hold on.
don't
What's
know.
the underlying messages?
The aquatic cake theory, mate.
What's that?
The aquatic ape theory, you know, the mermaids, the truth revealed and that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so out of the Disney movies, which satanic, whatever you were saying before, is the least that you like the most? You got to give us one. Come on, Charlie. I know it's in
It's
there.
hard to decide, but it's got to be Snow White.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Funny enough, we've
Snow
met
White.
a lot.
You know, she
of
has 7 little
Um,
disabled people that work for her, and
Oh, sorry, I interrupted. Go.
that guy's creased enough.
All right.
What happened?
I kicked them out. It was just a train wreck. That was a terrible idea. We're gonna restart this whole thing. The idea was great.
that's
The
cool,
idea
man.
was great,
Awesome.
but the execution was awful. The execution was poor as fuck. Well,
Dude, they were the equivalent of the Florida Man of Scotland.
Scotland. So a Scottish man. That's what.
I like them.
they were cool. All right, Tom, can you put on headphones for us, please?
Dude, you know what? I actually didn't bring your headphones down to Florida. Dude.
Okay, well,
Just use your hands like this.
just scoot the computer a little bit closer to you because we can barely hear you.
What about now?
Dude,
It's
you're
better.
gonna get such hate emails or whatever they can do, or we're gonna get such bad things.
If they come back, don't add them. Nobody add them back.
Nobody had them. Nobody had them.
I don't even know who they are.
All right. Should we start again?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't this live though? Aren't people watching and be like, yo, why they just can't clock out?
Okay,
It's-
all 12
it's fine.
people that are watching, we're sorry. We're going to do it again.
If you were watching that, you saw how much a train wreck that was.
Can they see me right now?
Who's on? Who's listening?
Manuel, that's you.
What?
Mute your damn computer.
Oh, there. Okay, there. Is that better? That was me.
That was weird.
Today's been a fun one. Today has been a fun one. We're just gonna start like that.
Just go into movies. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna restart us. Okay, a fun one. We're just gonna start like that.
Just go into movies. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna restart us. Okay, a fun one. We're just gonna start like that. Just Emmanuel, close out all your tabs that have the
Just go into
podcast going.
movies, come on.
I have. I shut everything.
All right, I'm gonna restart us. Okay, a fun one. We're just gonna start like that. Just Emmanuel, close out all your tabs that have the podcast.
What's on? Oh, there. Okay, I found it.
You know what it is? It's the spirits. It's the spirits. Trudeau, it's the spirits. Todd, you feel it?
There'll be two spirits in a minute after I murder both of you.
Why are you gonna murder me? I did nothing wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Got Balls podcast. Full disclosure for those listening on podcast, this is our third attempt to start this podcast. We want to talk about ghosts today, and there will be an extra ghost in the realm today after this podcast. Because I'm going to murder Emmanuel Pacheco once we're done. Yeah, I am your host, Steve Trudeau. With me, my two co-hosts, one Emmanuel Pacheco, soon to be Ghost, another Michael Almeida. Guys, how are you?
Well, I don't know. I'm wondering if we have to get ready for a funeral. I feel sad about it.
I'm doing awesome, but
He's an angry elf.
We are joined by our guest, Ton Wen, the Florida man, our show's official Florida man. Ton, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am great, buddy. Just scoot a little closer to that microphone. We were also joined before by two Scottish friends. They are in our hearts, but unfortunately they could not stay because It was a disaster. That was attempt number one. We had some Scottish folks on. I think they're hitting the whiskey a little too hard, but it was fun talking to them. I will say that. I learned a lot about Scotland. It's rainy. They don't like the English, and they clearly drink a lot. But they're cool people.
They start off with a swear every sentence too.
And it's always fucking.
Yeah. And they hate Disney.
Yeah, they accused Disney to be satanic because we asked them what their favorite Disney movie was, and clearly they don't have Disney movies in Scotland. It's just Braveheart, which it's cool. I get it. And the reason why we asked them about the Disney movie is because today's topic is going to be very heavily movie focused. So I'm going to start this by just asking everyone in the room what their favorite movie of all time is. Now, I don't need the top one if you're on the spot and you're like, I have no idea. Maybe like a top 5 favorite. I will start with my favorite. I have 2 favorites. I have one that's extremely nostalgic to me, which is Jurassic Park. Because when I was a kid, I used to watch that thing on loop. Like back when they had the VHS tapes, I would just pop that bad boy in, watch it from start to finish, rewind it, do the same thing. And it's weird because I haven't watched it in 10 years. And if it comes on the TV now, I can just like throw out quotes from the movie.
I feel like Emily needs to be listening to this really closely because if she ever wants to get anything done, she just needs to put it on like Trudeau's a toddler and just leave him in front of the TV and then go out and do her errands.
First of all, I didn't know Jurassic Park was a Disney movie. That would have been one of my choices.
What?
I didn't say Disney movie. This is favorite movies of all time. Forget Disney. Because apparently... No, we're not talking about it anymore because they apparently told us, the people from Scotland, that Disney is satanic. So we're going to push off of the Disney movies for now.
Oh, man,
no, favorite movies.
If I said Aladdin again.
So it's still your favorite movie of all time, Aladdin?
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's okay if it is. It's a great movie. It's the first Entourage. It was Entourage before Entourage.
Wait, how is that? Can you explain yourself?
Whoa.
Okay. First off, you got a guy who puts a group of friends together that want to see him grow and get better and get him all the way to the top and take like a, shadow kind of approach, like the Carpet, who's the best character in the whole movie, in my opinion, and Abu, and of course the genie. Perfect, right there.
That is such a stretch. That is not even close.
Are you kidding?
Watch Entourage?
The reason, of course, I've watched Entourage. I'm sorry that Aladdin wasn't 6 seasons, Emmanuel, and a movie. Okay, I think if they had a little bit more time, they could have played with it. I'm just saying that it's a very similar concept. Go ahead, Tom. What's your favorite movie? Nobody cares
actually,
about
let me finish up mine. Let me finish up mine really quick because Jurassic Park was like my nostalgic number one, but my number one movie of all time that if it comes on and I'm in the room, I'll just sit down and watch it no matter what part the movie's in. Is Forrest Gump. I love Forrest Gump, man.
Forrest Gump's
it's a great movie, and Tom Hanks is definitely America's sweetheart. But Ton, go ahead.
Whoa. Before you go to Ton, where is Tom Hanks? What's his nationality? Do you know?
Oh, didn't he get a second nationality recently? I think he's Greek as well now.
No, he's Portuguese.
Really?
Well,
Tom Hanks is Portuguese.
All right,
really?
well, I'm going to Google that shit.
Go ahead.
I don't think so.
I promise on everything I love.
Because he's definitely born in America.
I'll bet my one Litecoin.
Okay, because he was born in Concord, California, so I'll take that one Litecoin.
Yeah, but his parents are from where? I said nationality.
Yeah, here's the thing though, right? He's American. I don't like this word nationality. No, he's American. When people talk about Tom Hanks, they don't say he's Portuguese. They say he's American.
True, just because you were left on a doorstep with a piece of lettuce on your head doesn't mean you can take it out on Tom Hanks. Okay,
just
we don't know where your
podcast doesn't mean you can make up rules about what people's nationality are. He doesn't have Portuguese citizenship. He's American and he has citizenship to Greece.
Where is his family from?
He was born in California.
Where's his family from?
I'm reading his wiki page. Citizenship says American and Greek. So he is American and Greek.
Okay, but where's his family from? So
I don't know. Why don't you ask Tom Hanks' family?
Search it.
Steve,
what is he?
What am I?
You're American, Ton.
Oh. It's because
Ton, what do you think you are?
Yeah, what do you think you are, Ton?
American.
All right. So we got way off topic. Ton, what do you think you are? What is your favorite movie outside of Aladdin?
My favorite Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie, but my favorite movie is Serenity.
Is what? Say that again?
Serenity.
Serenity.
Serenity now.
Yeah.
Serenity.
What is Serenity? Is that like a self-help book or something?
What are you talking about, Trudeau? You know what Serenity was? Wasn't
Yes,
that your football thing that you guys used to do?
It's a sci-fi movie. It's about a bunch of war veterans, but this takes place in the future concept. But they lost, so now they're living in a universe of, run by the people that they lost the war to, and they're just trying to, they're just trying to enjoy their lives, live every single day. It's just.
Who stars in it? Is this starring? Who? I got Matthew McConaughey. Is he in it?
Nope.
Different Serenity. Okay.
Yeah, Serenity.
Yeah, because if it was this Serenity, that would have been bad for you, man. It's like a 20% of Rotten Tomatoes, so it's a real bad movie. But I believe you, it's probably a good movie. I'll check it out afterwards.
Yep.
So just a point on a current Netflix series that's coming on is called Man from High Castle, which is a similar, and it's actually quite good. I like
that's very good.
If Nazis actually won the war, what would happen? And if Japan actually won the war, and it shows kind of America kind of being kind of crunched down to nothing, right?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I watched that too. I enjoyed I'm not pro-Nazi by all means, but
No. We're not saying you are.
That's a great statement to start with, Ton. Always start with.
I'm not. Yeah, that's a good. You can't go wrong if you start with that statement.
So actually, Ton, you were talking about Serenity, and it's about like a future war, right?
Well, it's it takes place in the future. It's a space movie.
Right. So I wanted to mention I saw a trailer for this movie called The Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
Starring who's the guy from Parks and Rec and also Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm drawing a blank. It's so dumb.
Chris Pratt,
yeah, and it looks like a terrible premise. So basically, like he's in the current year and he gets drafted to a war 30 years later. So they pull him into the future. And let me start with this, right? If you get drafted to a war in the future, so it means they have technology to go back in the past. First of all, wouldn't you just stop the war from happening to begin with instead of just bullying people to fight your war?
Yeah. It's the premise.
It's so bad. And I'm just surprised how far Chris Pratt has fallen. I think it's one of those exclusives, maybe like Apple Plus or Hulu. It's like one of those streaming service exclusives. But that just joggled my mind, Ton, when you mentioned Serenity. So, Mikey, you want to poop on everyone's movie selections. What's your favorite movie?
I didn't poop on anybody's. I liked yours.
You like mine or Ton's?
I've never seen Ton's.
I'm still trying to find it on Google.
I like Ton's Aladdin pick. I'm gonna poop on Emmanuel's. My favorite comedy is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is Brad Lambert's favorite. Call out to Brad Lambert. Really great movie. And then my serious movie is Moneyball.
Nice. Yeah.
Always the baseball man, huh?
What's up, Ton? What's up? What do you?
I like Moneyball, but then that reminds me. Favorite comedy would have to be Pineapple Express.
Oh, that's another good one, man.
I actually want to segue really quick before I get to Emmanuel's thing. Or actually, Emmanuel, why don't you tell us your favorite movie? Because I had somewhere I wanted to go with the comedies.
Yeah, well, I have a few, but again, I thought that we had to actually have quotes from our movies, our favorite movies. I have all the quotes.
If you want to give quotes, go for it. I don't care.
Okay, so I'll say the quote first. And this
guess the movie?
Yeah, and you guys
I like this game.
What it is. Okay, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
I mean, the name of the movie's in the quote.
I know. Well, that was an easy one. Okay.
Well, Emmanuel also likes to watch guys fight with no shirts on.
Wow, listen,
that's an easy one.
That's a different type of Fight Club.
Yeah,
that's why I can't go on Omega anymore or whatever.
Mike, just because we can't have tickle fights when I come over anymore doesn't mean that. Okay. The other one is, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Oh, the Princess
Bride.
Best, like a quotable movie. It is the most quotable movie.
So, Mikey, Emmanuel's your uncle, right?
No, I don't even know who he is.
No.
He's just some guy that we found on Omegle.
He met me on Omegle.
The older guy that used to come over and have to have tickle fights with you.
Do you really want to start that? Now, Ton, remember, I know a story about you being in front of your whole family.
Don't say anything.
During
I may have told Michael
practice.
about the time that we were at your house for a football dinner, and you decided to bring your Xbox down to play a movie for everyone, and you were behind it, and you were plugging the movie player in. I'm not going to tell the rest of the details, but you know that story, right?
Yeah,
Serenity was playing.
How about this? We'll tell the story at the end. We'll tell the story at the end if you're okay with it. Okay.
was a Caribbean movie. It was a pirate movie.
Yeah, we'll tell the details at the end. How about that? So if you're listening to the podcast and you stick through the whole thing, you'll hear the amazing story about what happened at Ton's house. If Ton's okay with us saying it.
It was the first multi-million-dollar film in that category. So,
all right.
God, Emmanuel. What else?
Emmanuel, what's your favorite movie?
The other one, well, actually, so here's the quote. I don't know if you guys will get this, but this is actually, it's a stupid movie, but super funny, and it's a fellow Canadian that is the star in the show. Okay, so here's the quote: "If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer."
Is that Fast Times at whatever?
No.
Is that Fast and the Furious 3?
No.
Canadian.
Yeah.
What is it?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh, that's a great movie.
That
is a great movie.
Yeah, those are all those shaped. So let me explain why all of these things. So Princess Bride was one of the very first movies that I found, like, just, it was so funny throughout the whole thing. It was so stupid, but I found that that's where I started to get a really stupid sense of humor, and from that. Fight Club was one that was just way out there in terms of what it was, and it was in the guy's mind, and it was his personality. So, and it kind of changed the way I looked at movies and how movies are made. And then the last one, Ace Ventura, is just, Jim Carrey. Like, you can't go wrong with Jim Carrey. Those are my top three.
Go ahead, Todd.
That reminds me, you talked about Ace Ventura. That took place in Florida, and now that I relocated down here, all the movies I watched as a kid that takes place in Florida, I'm gonna watch it, including I Dream of Jeannie, because that takes place in Cocoa, Florida.
So who mentioned Pineapple Express? Tom, you did, right? So I actually wrote down something on my show sheet today, and I actually want to ask you guys a question. Like, what happened to the comedy blockbuster? Because for me, the last big comedy I can think of, and this is dead ass, like 10 years ago with The Hangover. I can't think of another, like, since then, like a big comedy, like, oh, you have to see this movie, like this must-see movie that was a comedy. Has the comedies died?
No.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, I think that, again, I think the challenge is comedy has now changed a lot, right? I think there's a lot of issues where comedy is now a dangerous thing for shows to rely on in terms of trying to be a funny blockbuster. I don't think it happens.
Yeah, I agree with all the political correctness. You got so many different points of view. People get offended.
Yeah, but even like, all right, you can say the argument like, oh, people are easily offended nowadays. But if you watch The Hangover, like I watched it a week back, there's nothing that doesn't still age well. Like, it's still fine. Like, you can watch the movie back and it's like, oh, there's really nothing too bad about this.
Or could it be that we were just really lucky to have a run with Pineapple Express, Step Brothers? Yeah. Trainwreck was also really good. I don't know how you guys feel about that movie, but
Superbad
was really funny. Yeah. Forgetting Sarah Marshall was in that category. It was just a great time to watch comedy movies.
It was what it was. It was more of like a buddy comedy movie, because like all those movies were like two guys or like a team of two or three or four. It was like that buddy comedy movie, and they don't make them anymore. They just gave up on the category completely.
And just a fun fact, so Hangover Part 2 was one of the #1 comedy movies in terms of gross revenues. So worldwide box office, $500 million. So $586 million.
I can think of one movie that actually they tried to do recently, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't going to live up to the first one, but I thought they still did a great job as far as like the blockbuster comedy. The second part of Borat, the subsequent film. Yeah. I don't know if you guys watched it. It was an attempt. What's on?
It was funny, but I'm not a big fan of Borat.
You didn't like the first one?
It's kind of like, how like certain people have to have a dry sense of humor to see certain movies that's funny. That one you have to have a certain kind of like, not perverted, but.
Okay, wait. But do you understand? Did you actually watch when Giuliani was caught in the hotel room with the fame that amazing?
Hilarious.
Oh yeah.
That is pure gold in terms of comedy and doing stupid shit that could literally get you in jail or killed. Like, this guy did something in the first Borat as well, which was pretty daring and out there, where he literally went into redneck territory and basically started to like, he almost got killed. Killed.
You know what's even more dangerous than the Giuliani scene was do you remember the scene in the subsequent film of Borat where he was at like a 3%er rally and he was singing on stage? Yeah. That was not like set up. Like that was completely real. Like he hired security and hired a band and did that. And they apparently were very mad and they tried to get him after that.
Yeah.
He had to like book it out.
He had actually an escape route. So he had an escape route planned out. Go ahead, Mike.
Trudeau, you watched this movie. This would probably be the last blockbuster, but once again, it's falling into the let's remake the past, which was Coming to America. Would
Bad.
you consider?
Yeah,
See, it wasn't. The other thing that's killing it is
Oh,
because of COVID, right? We haven't been able to have movies in cinemas. It's like
Oh,
it's all
God.
diluted.
Yeah, so like that's another thing I was going to mention, that maybe it was because like the whole COVID, people weren't watching comedies because like they were at home, so they wanted to watch like series, like long, like things you can watch like for a long time, and like Netflix, Amazon, all that stuff,
So I disagree with that because, all right, if we're just going off The Hangover as like the last big blockbuster comedy. The third Hangover, this is the third one. I don't even know if the third one was any good. I remember the second one was okay. But the third Hangover came out in 2013. So that was like, what, 8 years ago at this point? So it's been a long time since they've actually accomplished that. And to solidify this point, if you look at the nominees for Best Film this year, all depressing AF. Like none of these films are funny. They get you happy. I just think film is like taken like a sharp left turn and just went to super serious stuff.
It's kind of like I'm saying, like maybe because like being like even with comedians, like it's a dangerous area because like make jokes, people get offended.
I get it, but here's the thing: like, if you're good, you can still do it right. Like, we're talking. All right, if you think back, Ton, about this, I just mentioned that you brought up the point that maybe it's because it's more dangerous to do comedies. Think of like the best comedies you saw in like the 2010s, early 2020s, right, or early 2010s and 2000s. Pineapple Express. Is anything in there like dangerous? No. Like all that stuff would still fly today. What's the one with
40-year-old virgin?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
But I'm trying to think, is there anything
Wedding
problematic in that
Crashers.
movie? Wedding Crashers can be a little problematic. I'll give you that.
Why?
No, I'm just saying I like all those movies.
Super bad.
Just
Super
think
bad. And is there anything problematic and super bad looking back?
Actually, off topic, good comedy movie. Get them to the Greek.
No, that's fantastic, Ton. Excellent nomination. That's a good one. That one might be more recent than the Hangover ones as well.
Could it also be that
That's 2010.
comedic actors also want new challenges? Like you always see
That's
them
fair.
step out of the comedy roles, like Adam Sandler. Even what was that movie that he just did? That was absolutely phenomenal.
The gambling movie.
Yeah, with
I'll
Kevin
look it up.
Garnett. That one was really, really good. Jim Carrey did like a serious movie, something like 27 or something like that. I forgot what it was called, or 13. I don't know. It was a number. Sometimes
They
they're
did the
just
Truman Show as well, Jim Carrey, which was really critically acclaimed. Also,
Yeah.
Mikey, it's Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler movie.
Dude, I had to go to the bathroom like 13 times in that movie. That movie is anxiety driven, man.
Who brought up the point about the comedy actors wanting new challenges? Is that you, Mikey?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think like if we look back at the golden age of the buddy comedies in the 2000s and 2010s, you have Jonah Hill, which he's kind of moved on from that.
Yeah,
he's trying new things. Do you have any other nominations for like big time comedy actors of that time?
Before Robin Williams died. Sorry, go ahead, Emmanuel.
No. I think like Will Ferrell is, he's amazing.
He's moved on as well, though.
Moved on, right? Like if you look at Eurovision, I don't know if you guys watch Eurovision. That was the hilarious movie, but not a lot of people watched it. And then he came up with Holmes and Watson, which was a bomb. And it was the worst possible movie you could ever watch. I think it has like 1 star or one Rotten Tomato, but it is the worst. But then he did other things like Get Hard and other things, right? That actually was quite funny, right? So again, I think it's that person, the actual lead actor, the comedian, what they're doing. I think that makes a big difference.
Maybe we're just going through another phase, kind of like the action movies from the 90s to the 2000s. Like the action movies went from being really like far-fetched, like that could never really happen, but it was entertaining, to action movies become more realistic, and like even like 007 has to become like believable, something that can happen in real life. Now it's starting to get back into it's far-fetched again, like very like exaggerated type action,
I also have to give a shout out to a very comedic performance by a bunch of young ladies at the time that was absolutely thrilling, which was Bridesmaids. I really liked
That's a good
Bridesmaids.
movie.
That
I
was
thought they did a
awesome.
fantastic.
But
Well,
again, it was the cast, right? Was quite amazing, right? And again, like the scene in the bridal shop when she had to take a crap and then they didn't make it, and then she had to do it in the middle of I think it was the sink, right? That was like, but those are comedians, right? Go
Also, you
ahead.
know what's a good one like that before you get into on is I don't know if you're gonna make fun of me for this one, but Pitch Perfect. Those movies are actually really
No.
funny.
The
Yeah,
first Pitch Perfect was fantastic.
Yeah, those are really good.
Oh yeah, I like.
But
that.
what happened to Anna Kendrick? She was like killing it, and then she just started doing.
I think she's very limited in like her range. Like she's just always cast as like the singing, like nice person. Like I don't think she has much range outside of that.
But I'm gonna do a Trudeau on this one, which I'm gonna be very negative on this. No offense, Trudeau. Is
None taken.
Seth Rogen owes me money for watching that stupid ass movie with the vegetables and the, you guys know what I'm talking about. That movie was terrible.
The sausage movie.
That was the worst movie I've ever watched in my life. I want my money back. Unfortunately, I went to the theater on that one.
It was
That was so bad.
Sausage Fest is what it was called.
Yeah. It was funny as hell though because it was so bad.
Actually,
That was so
about Pitch Perfect and all those female comedians. That reminds me, actually, just recently or not too long ago, there's a lot of shows on Netflix that were comedies. Like I just had a brain fart right now.
It's okay. When you're thinking, I actually want to have one quick point while you're thinking about that, Ton.
Paranormal. It's like she dies, go to heaven. She thinks she's in heaven, but she's really in hell.
The Good Place.
Yeah, The Good Place.
Yeah.
And then she had.
If anybody was going to watch that show, I'm sorry that Ton has ruined it for you.
Yeah, that was like the whole season 1 ending. You just spoiled. Spoiler alert. Kind of late on that.
Sorry.
But I do have a question for you guys because we were talking about the comedies dying as like a big blockbuster. I do want to point this out though, is like there's a lot of like streaming television series that are comedies now. So do you think that all of like the comedic talent has shifted away from producing big movies instead of big comedy movies, now just doing series of comedies?
So I think this goes back to the business of movie making and how it's evolving with the streaming. So if you look at the business of movie making in the past, it was the big blockbuster. Now it's you get a Netflix special, you get a series, well then that makes money, right? So I think that changes things.
And I just wanted to second that opinion because me and my wife were driving, we drove past an AMC the other day, and I thought to myself, I haven't gone to a movie in a long time. Like I'd be down to check out a movie, and I'm more of a person who watches their movies at the house, on TV. And then my wife looked up the movie list to see what was playing.
And there's nothing.
Good God, man. The movie selection in the theaters are awful right now. So like maybe you have a point, Emmanuel, where just things are shifting away from being focused on the blockbuster, the movie, just more of series or, one-off movies released on Netflix or whatnot.
I also think that we're very spoiled because after going through all that list, let's just go through Adam Sandler, right?
Yeah.
Well,
We already had the Adam Sandler Love Special.
But before Chris Farley passed away too, he was giving out really funny movies, right? We were fortunate. It's just that simple. And hopefully there's someone that's not who's that guy, Pete from SNL? Hopefully we just get better people. It's just that simple.
But I think you're right. Like, and again, I think that, but the creative business or movies is not about the creative business anymore, right? It's about rehashing something or having something that sells or has the views. So, and I think that the creative piece of movie making, I think it's being lost, right? There are some series that I will say that are giving the talent the ability to kind of be creative, but it's not very prevalent.
Yeah, talk about movies losing the creative business and just being focused on money. I was watching TV, prepping some breakfast this morning, and a commercial came on for a franchise called Fast and the Furious for Fast 9.
Yeah.
Talk about lack of creativity. This was the trailer. It's just Vin Diesel, and he just goes, I need cars. Fast cars. And that was it. It was just like cars driving. I'm like, good God, who the hell is watching this crap?
Yeah.
They just keep on either remaking stuff or like Hangover, perfect example. Just end it at one. The first one was so good. You don't have to keep on going with it. It's
money.
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 Favorite Disney movies? What do you guys think about the Aladdin remake, or all these movies, Disney movies that are remaking with all the graphics that we have now?
Yeah, how do you feel about the Space Jam remake? Because we talked about that last week, Ton.
Ooh, I didn't watch it yet.
Have you? Well, we didn't watch either, but did you like the original one?
Oh yeah, I loved it, dude.
Do you want to watch the remake, or are you kind of out because it's a remake of what you cherish from your childhood?
Honestly, I like watching the remakes because like I'm a very visual person. So like as long as the story is almost the same, or it's just to get a refresh of it, kind of like Star Wars,
Ton, did you get to see the Mulan remake? I did not, but I heard they were missing like one of the main characters, and it really pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah, the little dragon. Yeah, it was a horrible remake, and they had so many good opportunities, and they missed it. And I think again, it goes back to the business of movies and things like that. And again, I think it's a big reawakening when people have to start going and paying for films.
Actually, I think this might be an Australian indicator of why maybe comedy movies have died recently, is because it's all about the business, what makes money, and the next booming business is China and Hollywood. China. And the comedy, it's very, to understand American comedy, you have to be like, you understand our culture, like the small little nuances of what we think is funny. They probably don't get it over there. Our small nuances, they have different types of comedy. And so maybe they wouldn't sell as much, so they don't really focus their money towards that for their audience, because that's where the moneymaker is at.
Honestly, Ton, like I never considered that, but you might be actually spot on with that take, because like if you see the big blockbusters, they're all like jump scare movies, like something jumps out of the corner at you, scary movies, or like action movies, Fast and the Furious. Like that translates to any language. Like it's more visual. The humor, there's no real humor, it's just like action, which is like universal, and the comedy is very subjective.
Yeah, because my background growing up, like a lot of Asian movies they're more either action or drama. There's really few countries.
And again, I think Ton has a good point, like the Disneyfication of everything, because Disney owns Hollywood, right? Like if you look at Disney gobbling up Star Wars and gobbling up everything else, but there is this thing also with Chinese influence that I think is affecting the movie industry, because there are certain comedies that can't be shown in China because of political reasons, right? So, and that shapes what can be said, what can't be said, and I think comedy is one of those things. And also the movies that are being made, I don't think that helps a lot when Disney and China and only a few real powerhouses have control over the creative process.
And I just want to put on this podcast that we are definitely free Hong Kong. So
yeah,
China on that.
Okay. Yes. All my point is that I think that it and again, I just read the Eisner book, the Disney Thrill of a Lifetime, right? The Ride of a Lifetime. And it talks about how the China deal basically made a lot of the future films that are happening and are going to happen very, very subjective to political will of nations, right? And specifically China. So and again, I think, Emily's been commenting now about there are some new things coming out, but I think it's on streaming services. I think the HBOs and the Amazon specials and all of those, I think those are the future of kind of these series. I think is going to be really the future of where all the creative stuff comes out. And then if they bubble up to the top, maybe they'll make a movie about it that you'll go to watch to the theater. Who knows, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I think that the age of the big blockbuster movie is kind of dead. We might get one here and there, but I don't know. I actually want to ask you guys this, because I was having this debate the other day with my wife about actors and actresses throughout time, right? And we didn't want to talk about who the best actor or actress is, because that's kind of subjective. Like, some would argue that like Daniel Day-Lewis, he's a very method actor. He gets into his role like he's very serious, or that you could take your pick of actor, because everyone's approach is different. But we wanted to talk about what actor or actress has the best catalog of movies that they've done over time, right? So like every movie that they've either starred in or had a major role in. I have a couple nominees just to get the ball rolling for you guys to start thinking.
Yeah.
So 3 that we picked out is like pretty heavy-handed favorites. It's Tom Hanks, because he has just about 7 or 8 just awesome movies you have to see. Brad Pitt has like a fantastic catalog over time. And then Leonardo DiCaprio, another heavy hitter with like movies, like crazy movies.
Okay, where's Tom Cruise, and where are the women?
Does
Where are the
every
women actors? Wait a minute, where are the
if
women?
you have a nominee for women actor, that is fantastic. I'll take one.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
That's a weak one. I'll
What
look
are
up
you
Sandra.
talking about? Speed.
that's
The
a valid
Blind
one.
Side. The Blind Side.
So you,
What's that movie with? It was actually pretty good. It was a low key good movie with Ryan Reynolds that she did.
I am unsure, to be honest with you. I'm looking up her IMDb now, right, for you, by the way.
He's awesome, dude. He went from being like a kind of like a movie we were in, it's kind of like weird, but now to like, dude, any movies he's in now is hilarious.
Oh, you know what was a funny movie? What's that one that they try to kill their bosses?
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses, yeah.
Yeah.
With Jennifer Aniston, one of the bosses.
Ocean's 8, Miss Congeniality, Bird Box, Speed,
Okay.
Gravity.
But historically, let's talk about also like in time, like how like Meryl Streep. Okay, so she's
a heavy hitter.
Most awards, like she is very prevalent. And again, I go back to Tom Hanks. What makes Tom Hanks the most prevalent or prolific actor in history, or one of them, anyways, is because he has range, history, all of the
that's
things.
another great question.
You know, the war movies, Saving Private Ryan, all of this stuff. Like he actually is teaching us about history, and it's not, you know, it's not an easy thing to do, right?
True.
Yeah, who mentioned?
Did you see Sandra Bullock's IMDb?
I have the IMDb. It's okay. It's not great. Like I'll give you Miss Congeniality. I enjoyed that one. You mentioned Speed,
Gravity.
So that's 3.
Bird Box.
Yeah.
The Blind Side.
We're not gonna hold a Bird Box like it's some sort of monumental movie.
28 Days.
All right, but let me count you with this. So we're talking about like that. That's great. I mean, that's a good catalog, right? But now we're talking about like, let's just compare it to Tom Hanks, who has like a catalog 8 times that size. We're talking about monumental. So like Tom Hanks. All right, I'm just looking at it now. I'm just filibustering a little bit so I can kind of find where in the list I want to start here. Well, this is a terrible list. It's Wikipedia is not being helpful, but I'm just gonna go off the top of my head and rattle. So you have like Castaway, right?
Yeah.
You have Forrest Gump. You have Sully, which is supposed to be a good movie.
Yep.
The Terminal.
No,
Captain Phillips.
Those were great movies, but he was typecast. Like what comedy was he great in?
The Green Mile. What comedy was he great in?
Well, Forrest Gump was still part of comedy as well, but it just
but his role wasn't really supposed to be comedic.
no.
I mean, he was comedic, but like he wasn't trying to be a funny guy.
Yeah.
He was in Saving Private Ryan as well, so he's been in a lot of serious movies, dramas, like.
So, like, are we looking for just like great movies, like epic movies, or are we talking about like very diverse roles?
I mean, we could go diverse roles. I was thinking more of like epic movies when I approached this topic.
Oh, see, I was saying like that person like keeps on giving good movies over and over again. That's how I looked at it.
Leonardo DiCaprio, any kind of movie he was in, it was a good movie. Comedy, the Django, he was great in.
Yeah, but Leo
it's
like
Django, the D silent hillbilly.
Oh, Django. And then you got The Departed, like, and dude, any movie in like romantic, action, you know, comedy, any movie he was great in, you know.
Yeah, I think as far as like the women are concerned, I'd have to pick with like Julia Roberts as far as the best in that category.
Sandra Bullock's just up there with Julia Roberts. I'm looking at it right now, and it's the same kind of stuff.
But can you think of anyone outside that list that's worthy of nomination? Like Tom
Reese
Hanks,
Witherspoon. I thought we were doing girls.
Streep.
No, you can do
Tom
women
Hanks,
as well.
Yeah, but I think Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep are on a very similar level in terms of how prolific they are and how diverse that they play roles.
Who's the girl that plays it against Sarah Marshall, the blonde girl?
Oh, Kristen Bell. She's not in much though, buddy. She's more like TV.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything she's in, I enjoy. That's fun.
Oh, what about Anne Hathaway? She's getting there.
Yeah.
Can you name some movies that the people are in? Because I'm I'm not the best with movies, so like throw some movies out for me.
Woman, right?
Catwoman, Devil Wears Prada, The Intern. Oh, Robert De Niro would be another one. That's another big star.
Yeah,
Get
I mean,
Smart.
so here's the thing, right? So Emmanuel mentioned Meryl Streep, and I agree that she's like a very decorated actress, but she's a little bit before my time. Same thing with Robert De Niro. Like I don't appreciate those thespians the way others would.
Princess Diaries.
Yeah. Like these are all movies that are way back in the day, and I didn't really watch them. To me, they weren't blockbuster movies.
Like,
Well,
so,
you better get
people love them, but I can't really get into it because I didn't really know.
iron out your Princess Diaries, man.
I've never watched that movie actually. The Princess Diaries.
It's actually very funny.
Can I tell you something I bought recently off Amazon? I don't know if it's gonna be a good purchase or a bad purchase, but I bought this.
Does it need batteries? Does it need batteries?
That's always a good purchase. There's no question there.
The pink shirt you're wearing?
Yes. No, I bought a big chart. It's the top 100 movies according to IMDb.
Oh yeah.
And basically, it's a chart, has all the movies, and you scratch them off as you watch them. So I'm gonna try to increase my movie knowledge and watch some of these movies.
Couch potato list.
Yeah. Well, I always, here's the thing, right? So when you want to watch a movie, do you guys ever know what you want to watch?
No.
Right.
Here's
So
I make a conscious decision with me and my wife when we watch movies. We look for different films that we would normally not watch, and we're pleasantly surprised in many cases. I will go with reviews, though. I will look at specific reviews. And and I keep asking you guys, are you ever going to watch In and of Itself? Are you ever going to watch that movie on Netflix?
Emmanuel, it's hard to do it when we have all our serious training of Dungeons and Dragons going on. It's just, where do you find the time? I'm trying to read my Dungeons and Dragons book, man.
Yeah, man, I'm slacking on that.
Trudeau, I have a business opposition for you, a proposal.
Proposition?
Yeah. So what do you think about me and you starting a Blockbuster?
Okay, I'm listening.
Ton can work our Florida region, and then we just buy the name, which we probably get it for, once again, one coin, and then go from there. What do you think?
I'm in. And Emmanuel, I did watch In and of Itself. You didn't ask me if I did. You just kept telling me to watch it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And
it's a mind-blowing exploration of identity. Del Claudio pulls from both personal stories and his life and calls for audience participation to dissect the labels we put on ourselves and others. So I watched it. I know all about it.
That's exactly what I said when I went to watch The Circle, okay? I did actually watch The Circle eventually.
Emmanuel, I was not happy about the abuse of elephants in the film. I thought that was really...
Absolutely, I'm with you.
I
thought that Hal Shulman did an excellent job acting, and the musical composition by Mark Mothersbaugh was fantastic.
Trudeau, next time when you're reading it, put it near the camera so you're facing, so it doesn't look like you're reading it. Okay, that's the secret.
Frank Oz directed a fantastic movie. I have to say, the best.
All right, let's get back to topic, because we were talking about like what movies we like when there's going to be a character in it, right? A certain actor or actress. So,
sure.
Ton, I want to hear yours. Go ahead, Ton.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, we already talked about that.
Can I take objection really quick, Tom? I'm just going to steal the ball from you. Be a bad teammate.
One. Now, it's not because we have the same background, but Jackie Chan, man.
Yeah, very prolific.
I like Jackie Chan.
Mike, how the hell did you say that Tom Cruise had range or a bunch of good movies?
I did not say Tom Cruise. That's Emmanuel.
Tom Cruise.
That's Emmanuel.
I said
Trudeau, I would never say Tom Cruise. Come on.
So Tom Cruise is a bona fide blockbuster movie actor. And
he just does the Mission Impossibles.
Yeah,
in 1958. Nobody cares now.
Yeah, but I didn't say he was good. I just said that he... Okay, and he does his own stunts. Anybody who does their own stunts, okay, it's got to be a good actor.
Or he hates his life.
Yeah, he's kind of kooky, man. Tom Cruise.
Well,
did you see when he was like ripping the people that worked on his movie during COVID? Yeah. He was like screaming at them.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think that if you were in the same position and you're frustrated because people are breaking the rules and suddenly the whole set could be shut down because people aren't wearing a mask, things like that, I think you would be pissed off too.
So are you asking would I feel pissed off if someone was during a production screwing up and playing sounds and ruining the recording? Would I be upset?
Yeah.
Wait, was that
Maybe a
Tom
little.
Cruise? Was that Tom Cruise? Because
Well,
Christian
he was
Bale
one of
also
them.
did
Yeah,
that, right?
both of them. They both did it.
Bale?
But
The
there was a
only
difference.
credit I'll give Tom Cruise is he does do a lot of his own action scenes, which is respectable. But other than that, the dude's a freaking maniac.
Yeah, he's
No, he is, but he is a
Uh,
bona fide maniac. He is a bona fide maniac, and maybe that's a Scientology speaking, but he is a bona fide maniac.
I just,
We had another comment about Christoph Waltz. Now
yeah,
that
he's
was
fantastic.
Well, yeah, you know what? Tom Cruise, he was funny in Tropic Thunder. I did like that.
Who's
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. But that's where he did comedy because he played the guy with the fat hands. Remember the agent?
Not just fat hands, fat everything. But yeah.
Fat. Well, no, it was fat arms or like Popeye arms, right? But it was fat everything. But he was the agent, and he did an amazing job when he danced. I thought it was very good.
Does Christoph Waltz have any big movies outside of ones directed by Guillermo del Toro or whatever? Who am I thinking of?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The crazy guy.
Why are
Django
we why are we sound like idiots? Probably because we are.
We are.
Quentin Tarantino. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was drawing a blank. Does he have anything outside of those though? Because I always think of his roles like Django or Inglourious Bastards.
Pinocchio.
No. Do you know
Yeah,
that he's
he
only
did.
5'7", by the way?
Actually,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Short guy. He was not in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, he was. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man Tells No Tales. I'm looking it up right now.
Does that one really exist?
It's a 2017 one. I don't know. It's
No.
once again.
Yeah.
Those movies were great when they started, though.
Yeah, that first one was awesome. Johnny Depp. That's another guy we didn't talk about.
Johnny Depp was good.
Yeah, he was solid, especially because he did like Edward Scissorhands and some other earlier movies before Pirates that were really, really popular.
Now,
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about individuals, the best actor and stuff, but I'm a big team person and go on teams with movies and cast. What's the greatest show of movies we watched that had like the same cast, kind of like Adam Sandler and his crew of guys, you know?
That would be Jonah Hill and his boy.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, be a good teammate.
He's got a ton of his
I don't know if I know
boys.
who you're talking
He's got
about.
Channing Tatum. He's got Seth Rogen. He's got Franco.
James Franco, thank you. Jonah Hill and James Franco are like the comedy duo of our time.
Well, that was the guy that I was going to say is my favorite like actor when it comes to catalog, just because I love The Wolf of Wall Street. That was a great movie and really, really good. He was good in Funny People. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, obviously, and then you go from Super Bad and all the other ones. Like, I love Jonah Hill. I just think he's great and good for him for working his ass off and getting small. He was also in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
What do you guys think about this top 10 list from Ranker as far as the best movies of all time?
Here we go.
Can we start at 10 or 1?
We'll start at 10 and then we'll go down.
All right. So I'm scrolling down. Lots of ads. So 10, shout out to our friends from Scotland who are no longer with us, RIP. Braveheart came in at number 10. This is fan ranked, so this is like what people liked. I still have to watch that one. Number 9, Silence of the Lambs.
You never seen Braveheart?
No, I've never seen Braveheart. I have to watch that. But 9, Silence of the Lambs. You guys watch that movie? That one's a wicked good movie.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's top 10 though.
Really?
No.
Well, this is from the fans, so this is not a critically acclaimed list. Number 8 is Castaway, so my boy Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a top 10. It's top 10.
Castaway had some parts where it was like pretty long and drawn and kind of boring.
Yeah. Wow.
Speaking of like famous movie quotes throughout time, like Wilson, like when he screams Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah.
I feel like Tom Hanks has at least 2 of the top 10 movie quotes of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe Wilson, but then also like the life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you'll find. Everyone knows that one.
Yeah. That's a great.
Does anyone else have good nominees for best movie quotes of all time?
You know, for like
I have one.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
I just said that. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
No problem.
Bit me.
What did you just say, Ton?
Something bit me.
That's Forrest Gump. That's not really notable though. You can't say that and like
Oh
people
yeah,
will know.
it is. Well,
I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
Godfather, yeah.
I'll Be Back, Terminator by
Oh,
Emily.
that's definitely.
all movies are-
Isn't there one? Oh, Scarface. Definitely one. Scarface.
You cockroach.
No. Tom,
What's
you know
the
this
other
one.
famous quote?
Tom,
Well,
you
maybe
know this
before
one.
your time, but
Say hello.
say hello to my little friend.
Say hello, to my little friend.
Luke,
Or,
I Am Your Father. That's a good one.
Yeah. Or you talking to me? That's Taxi Driver, but that's way before your time.
That's again before my time. I have no idea.
When you were on the website, that guy was being so serious.
Why so serious?
It's Joker, yeah.
From The Dark Knight.
Yep.
Now, what about again my good buddy Will Ferrell there from Ron Burgundy.
God.
Ron Burgundy has some quotes, okay? Like that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah, that's good.
Wait, when is that? What movie is that from?
What's the Sex
That's
Panther?
Ron
are you-
Burgundy, Anchorman. What are you
Oh,
kidding
Oh
me?
my God.
No,
My
that's
bad.
Sex Panther. What was it? Works what? 70%, 100% of the time, or how?
You're good.
Yeah.
That's
You're
Jaws,
gonna-
no?
You're gonna
no.
need a bigger boat. That's another one.
Oh, that's a great one. You're obviously looking at a list.
no,
Mikey.
no, this is all just me. What are you talking about?
Never heard
Keep
of
going, Mike. If you have a list, go for it.
All right, Luke, I Am Your Father.
Yeah,
may,
we
the
did
force, may the force be with you.
Nah,
No.
not that cool. Go ahead.
You talking to me?
What's that one?
What? That's from Robert De Niro.
Oh, I got one before you go for your list. Robert De Niro, A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And back to Ton's comment on Ron Burgundy, the actual quote is, "They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time." That's the condom.
What else you
Bond,
got, Mikey?
James Bond.
Yeah, of course.
I See Dead People. Ton,
Sixth
you want to
Sense.
give? You want to ruin that one too, if you want.
Spoiler alert.
Why, so that-
Actually, it wasn't Robert De Niro. It was Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth.
Okay.
E.T. Phone Home.
Mm-hmm.
Yippity yippity
Die
kai.
Hard.
You want to
Yippee-o-ki,
finish that?
motherfucker.
To Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah, Toy Story.
Houston, We Have a Problem. There's your boy.
What movie is that from?
Apollo 13.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a good. That is
That's
Tom
a good
Hanks.
one.
That's
Oh,
good.
here's an Emmanuel one. You ready?
Okay, go.
You Had Me at Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
That's the one with the pretty women, right?
Yeah.
no,
another-
no,
No.
was it? No,
No,
that's
You Had Me at Hello is Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, and that's the sports agent. What's that called now? Jerry
Yeah,
Maguire.
Mikey has a list.
Jerry Maguire.
I got another one for Ton. Here's Johnny. That seems like a Ton one.
The Shining.
Yeah. There's No Crying in Baseball. That's Tom Hanks again.
League of Their Own.
Hey, Emmy, check this out. We were talking about Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Today, I had an epic day. I get to check off one of my things on my bucket list. Today, I got to walk around Launch Pad 39.
Oh, that's amazing.
For people that don't know what Launch Pad 39A is, that's like the historic launch point where they launch all those space shuttles in Cape Canaveral. And I got to walk around that, walk up the tower. Well, I didn't go up the tower all the way. But
Wink, wink.
it was an experience, man. That's cool. But besides the point.
There's one that Emmanuel says a lot. Show me the money.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
That's Jerry Maguire.
What
too.
movie is that? Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire, yeah. Now, as I was searching more Ron Burgundy quotes, there's a lot of quotes that I don't remember any of these. Tell me if you know any of these. Let's see.
Whale's Vagina, San Diego.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Here's the exact quote. Oh, San Diego? Yeah, discovered by Germans in 1904. They named it San Diego, which of course is German, means a whale's vagina.
You know what? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just watch all the comedy movies from back in the day.
Oh, this is probably from the most famous movie of all time. I'm the King of the World.
Oh,
Titanic.
Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there anything more famous as like a pose than the Titanic, like on the
Well,
balcony? Like
there
Hold Me
is.
Jack.
Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming.
That's a good one.
I can't believe that you guys don't have anything about one of the most famous movies of all time that we all watch during Christmas time.
To shoot your eye out.
Eyes. Look,
Oh god.
he's an angry elf.
That's not even like a famous elf one. What's the most famous elf one? It's probably
Hasta la vida. Vista, baby. The dude. Which one? From Elf?
yeah, he's like, this isn't the real Santa. No. Oh, the give me a good elf quote. I know it's not the most famous elf quote by far.
No, there's way many. Okay, okay. The
Well,
best.
basically,
Okay, go ahead.
what? It's just like a manual on Omega. It's like
Omega.
whatever it's called. I'm Buddy the Elf. What is it? Hi, my name's Buddy. What's your favorite color? That's what he kept on saying to people, and they kept on
That's me.
ditching him.
But wait, this is Mikey's quote. Okay, this is I am a cotton-headed ninny muggins. Muggins. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud for all to hear. These are good. I'm sorry I ruined your lives and crammed 11 cookies into the VCR.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is from Elf. I mean, funny, like I'm a clown. I amuse you. Wasn't that from Elf?
No, that doesn't sound like elf.
That's from Goodfellas, man.
Uh,
You never watched Goodfellas, Trudeau?
no.
Oh,
I got that list, man. I told you I bought the poster, 100 movies. I'm gonna go through it. I'm sure it's on it. But let's close the loop on this top 10 movie thing and then move on. So I just want to close the loop because we already opened it. So I was at 7, The Dark Knight, and then The Green Mile at 6, which is a good one.
Yeah.
I've never seen this one, Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks.
yeah,
And
it was
just-
not.
Was it Tom Hanks? I thought it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
And Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, because he was like sleeping in the airport pretending he was a pilot.
Different movie.
Different movie, but it's actually based on a true story, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, it's based on, and actually, it's a guy who counterfeit. He did counterfeit a bunch of things. Became an airline pilot, by buying a uniform and then walking into airports and then sitting in planes and flying around the world. But it was actually a true story.
Nice.
It's a really good movie.
All right, then finally, Toy Story, which get out of here. I don't know why that's on the list. Number 4,
No,
Shawshank Redemption, Saving Private Ryan, and Forrest Gump.
yeah, those are all amazing movies. Those top 3 for sure. Those are all very, very good.
So, Tom, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Nope.
No. All right, that's excellent because we have a lot of different opinions on this one. Emmanuel said he kind of believes in ghosts. I'm trying to understand what his stance is.
I don't believe in ghosts, okay, but I do believe in spirits.
All right,
is
so you're gonna have to explain this to us.
Okay, so first off, has anybody ever had coincidences or whatever you want to call it, where something happens and you feel the presence of somebody who either has left or is not there anymore, or something strange happens? So call it a coincidence or whatever, but I do feel that there is something about, like, I'll give you the example. So when my wife's grandmother passed away, they were very, very close to our dogs. Okay, so the night that she passed away, our dogs were going crazy, and it was like literally the 5 minutes right at the time when she had passed away. After she had passed away, we got the call, and right before we got the call, the dogs were going crazy in the house. And I mean, like, running around and basically barking at nothing and barking at a window and things like that. So that freaked us out. And I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe that there is something, call it a coincidence, but I do not believe in ghosts, but I do believe in there's some sort of force or spirit or something.
So you're telling me you believe in something supernatural after people die that can still go around and see people and do creepy things? But it's not a ghost. It's very similar to a ghost, but not a ghost.
Ghost? Like you're saying, like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in like an energy. So like, yeah,
Energy.
Right. This is like an energy, like bad juju, or like that guy gives me a bad vibe. Like, it's just energy.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to get to. It's not, and again, we haven't had a visitor from my wife's grandmother since then. Like, that's not them visiting us like a ghost. But at the moment that happened, there is an energy or a spirit, whatever you want to call it. There is something. I think that there's something, but I don't know exactly what it is.
And the reason why we asked you guys, because me and Mikey were talking during the week about, I don't know how we got into ghosts. We talked about the Jesus room. Can you explain to us what the Jesus room is?
Is that
Mike
called
Todd
church?
knows.
The Jesus
no.
room.
I was in first grade. Want to try to make me sleep in that room by myself. It had a nice water bed. It was an awesome water bed. But dude, that room freaked me the F out when I was a kid, dude.
And why did it freak you out, Ton?
Because you had nothing against Jesus. You believe in Jesus, but it wasn't just a regular cross. It was one of those Catholic church crosses that was very graphic. Had a wooden cross, had a pale man hanging on, with blood dripping all over the place. And his eyes were rolled back to his head.
There was statues. There were statues of Jesus with blood coming down his face.
So I think we need to explain to the audience because only we understand what's going on. So, Mikey, explain to everyone, paint the picture, right? There's a room in your house.
Okay,
It's
so
a
my
bedroom.
mother, let's bring in, my mother is very similar to Joanna Gaines, but the Catholic version. So when she tries to make a room really nice, she puts a lot of Jesus, Mary, the shepherd kids, churches, everything that you could imagine in one room, and that is the decor. So that's what the Jesus room is. It's a bedroom with a ton of Jesus signs and all this.
Yeah,
good
I
stuff.
get it. Like, I'm all for religion. I like the Bible has good stories in it, but
It's a creepy room. Just say it. It's creepy.
it's a tragic story, man. Like, a dude got fucking beat up pretty good for our
Dude.
sin.
Oh man.
So
So
now, if you decorated a room where it'd be a bunch of creepy dolls, would it be the same thing? It just
Yes.
that's creepy because
now,
it's
now,
creepy.
now, just imagine this, Emmanuel. Imagine the creepy dolls now have blood coming out of their eyes and
I
they're
agree.
dying on a cross. Creepy.
Yeah, I know.
So-
That's a religious thing, right?
I
Just
think
trying
we're
to
getting a little bit
decorate
off topic. So this room, full of crosses and Jesus-y, blood coming out of Jesus' eyes all over the place. It's a bedroom, right? So not only is this room decorated like this, but Mikey, tell me about this room and some of the things that happen in this room.
we've just had really creepy experiences. Like I remember one time, Trudeau, you were at the house and we all were playing this really crazy game where we shut the lights off in the whole house and then you hide with a partner and one person has to come find you. And then what happened was we went to go drive to, I think was to go to Friendly's, Trudeau, to get ice cream. And when we went there, we couldn't find our keys. Like we could not find the keys to the car. So we were looking for the keys and all that stuff. And we went into a bunch of the rooms. And when we came back, the kitchen, all the cabinets were open. And it wasn't from anybody in the house. But we've had creepy experiences like that. So
Didn't Tommy P like go around and yelling about how like there's no ghost and this is BS, and he was running around trying to instigate stuff, and then like the lights flickered and then we went downstairs and like there was something like a chair in the Jesus room and it was like moving when we went downstairs.
yeah, and he felt like cold around him.
Yeah.
I was on the chair, but the doll ended up on the stairs or something like that.
I don't remember that happening.
Okay. So you guys probably don't know this, but when we were at Mikey's house, when
Oh, this is a good story. I know where you're
this
going.
is the ring, right? This is the ring. Was it the ring, Mikey?
No, I thought you were gonna
Horror
do.
movie that we watched.
Yeah, well, I remember Raymond like saying in Filipino "ghost," and you
Yeah.
not knowing with your your Canadian butt, you did not know what he was saying, and Myra's
didn't.
like face got all pale and was like, "Moo moo" means ghost in Filipino
Yeah.
or something
It
like
means
that. Yeah.
ghost or something. But then the other thing was we were watching at night The Ring, right, which is that horror film that the
How
Asian
scary.
one, and with the girl with the hair in front of her face and stuff like that. And then if you watch the video, whatever, then you get the call, right? So I was calling their house when we were sitting there. So I was ringing, and the phone was ringing. Your sister and Christina was freaking out because but that again, that's us playing pranks, right? There was no ghost there. We're just watching a scary movie. There was nothing like that, but it was just freaking out.
Actually, let's talk about what's the most traumatizing horror movie you watch when you're a kid that like affects you. Like
I-
for me, it was Chucky. Every time, like ever since I watched Chucky, like anytime I'm sitting on the couch, there's any boys under the table or the bed, I'm always checking first, make sure when I put my feet down, nobody's gonna slash my Achilles, you know.
I do like that segue. I want to get back to the ghost because I'm convinced Mikey, his house was haunted and my house growing up was haunted. But to your question, Ton, which is a fantastic question, when I was young, two movies come to mind. Number one, I thought this was real. I found it later. It's obviously fake. The Blair Witch Project scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I thought
That's
that
a
was
good
real.
one. That's a
Number
good one.
two, this is probably the worst movie to watch as a child, and because you think you're gonna die over at night. Paranormal Activity is so effing
That is
scary
the
if you're a kid.
scariest movie ever. Like even now, Trudeau, it's still
It's scary, man.
Even the second one was good. The second one was good too.
But,
What?
Are you aware of what this movie is?
Oh wait, I'm thinking about the wrong one.
So Paranormal Activity, for those who are unaware, is just pretty much like it's filmed in a way that they make it look like it's the home security footage the whole time, and like things just happen, and like things are moved around. It's all ghost. It's frightening because you could just imagine yourself in that scenario.
Well, I think the reason why it's scary for me is because like it takes place in like a modern home, like a house that like looks like your actual room.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those horror movies where you gotta go to like an old creepy mansion. That's where you see a ghost.
Okay. So talking about paranormal, so do any of you believe any of those TV shows like Ghost Hunters and stuff like that?
Absolutely not. It's a load of shit.
It's bullshit, right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Oh wait, Mikey's he's gonna contest this. Okay, go.
No. I'm not gonna. So I think at the beginning of, if you watch Ghost Hunters, that's the only show. Okay, at the beginning of the year, like the beginning when it started, I think they were actually trying to do a good job and like go into it, and it was nonprofit and all this stuff. But as they started getting popular, oh man, they just kept on just screwing it over. Yeah, but I think at the beginning, most of the time they were like, "This place isn't haunted." And then once they started getting more vans and more equipment that were from the studio, then that's when it just all crapped the bed.
But Mikey, I want to ask you more about your house. So you were convinced that your house was built on an Indian burial ground. I'm sorry, Native American burial ground, correct?
No.
Or you just say that? Would you just say that?
Well, the same thing about the high school, and his house is close to the new high school.
Well, I just thought that. Okay, are we talking about Reed Road or are we talking about Rebecca?
Reed Road.
Okay, so Reed Road, and you remember this, Trudeau, because you were
the lights would turn on in the middle of the night, like because you had motion sensors and they would go off all the time.
But do you remember going to the backyard and we stayed in the camper that night?
Yes, I remember the camper.
And remember behind the camper, and it never made any sense. There was like this wall that looked like it was leading to a cemetery that was just replaced. I've never done the homework or anything, but either way, we know that there was a little old lady who passed away in their sleep in 632 Reed Road. So
go ahead, Ton.
Was it Reed Road or was it another road that we used to go to? Like it went out to the middle of the woods. This like big like arch, like wooden arch. Dude, I'm trying to remember the name of that road, man. There's like a little farm in the back of the
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but that wasn't on.
All right, so I got two things, right? I'm going to tell my ghost encounters, and then I have a segue to our last topic. All right.
Okay.
So I am convinced, logically, I know that ghosts can't be true.
Yeah.
However, like the experiences I've had makes me still like I get pit in my stomach when I'm in the wrong situation. Like I'm like something is wrong. I can just feel it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's watching movies in the past that has me thinking this way. But when I was a kid, I grew up in this house in New Bedford that was built in like 1890. So it's an old house. And my bedroom was next to the staircase. And at night, wooden stairs, there's no carpet. It would just creak, like feet step, like like someone's climbing up the stairs to come see you. And I swear to God, man, I woke up one night, and now I might have had a fever, like I might have been hallucinating, but I woke up one night and there was this white figure at the bottom of my bed, like human size, just sitting there staring at me. And I threw the covers over my head, and I couldn't scream because I was so scared. But man, those experiences in that house, man, had me freaked out. There was also one last thing before you get into on. There was this one room at the bottom of our house, and my parents are sickos for setting it up like this. But it was this really creepy room. There's 4 high back chairs, all facing the middle of the room. Right, so each corner had a chair, and when you walked through that room, it felt like people were sitting in the chair watching you. You know what I mean? Like, so when you walked in the middle, it just felt like everything was staring at you. Those experiences, man, like, if I'm in the wrong house, I'll get the creeps now because of all that crap that I went through. But I feel good about the house I live in now. It's not haunted for sure. Like, I feel good about it. But, man, those experiences.
Have you ever slept and felt something jump on you, and, like, you wake up, and like you look at the clock, you see that you see the time is at nighttime, and like you try to move but you can't move, or like at first, like
That's a real thing.
You think
Sleep
somebody's
paralysis.
Yeah, you
Oh.
hey, get
It's
off.
called tickle. It's called tickle fights.
It's what
When
Emmanuel
your
brings
uncle
with Mikey.
comes over. That's tickle fights when your uncle comes
Wait,
over.
what's it called? Steve, he says a real thing. What's the thing called?
It's a real thing. It's sleep paralysis. So basically,
Yeah.
your mind wakes up before your body, so your
Yeah.
body's still in like a sleep state, so you can't move it.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen, but it sounds frightening.
And
And then
it happened to me twice. The first time happened to me when I was a kid, and I was frightened. And the second time happened to me like when I came back from the army. But then like that time, like I started yelling, flipping out, and then it went away. But
So I again, I don't believe in UFOs, but I do believe there are unidentified things that I can't explain. Right?
there's definitely aliens, 100%,
No,
1,000,000%.
a million
No.
percent.
there's no aliens.
Emmanuel, do you know how large the galaxy is? Do you know how
Canada-
big?
Oh, I'm sure there's somewhere, but nobody's
Canada's got them on lockdown. Trudeau.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if they visit us or not, there definitely are life out there that's as smart as us somewhere.
Statistically, there is. If you look at
probable.
the universe, because if you put a billion monkeys in a room, they're going to write a novel with typewriters. Okay, but
Yeah,
that's statistically okay. But again, are there aliens on Earth? No. But are there
I-
unexplained things? Yes.
I was actually thinking about this.
So Elon Musk, he launched a Tesla into space, and on the Tesla has a little plaque. This was built by human beings.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this today.
And the first thing you encounter is a car flying through space, crashed into you, and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, oh man, there's intelligent life out there that built a car.
So even if there is intelligent life and they've, because there's all these things about UFOs flying around now, it's a big hot button thing on the internet. But even if they are flying around, damn well, like they probably have taken one look at us and been like, these people are stupid. We're not even going to bother with them. Like if you're smart enough to travel light years and galaxies to find other life, you don't want to mess with us. Like we're below you. We're so below you at this point.
Yeah.
What's the point of you stopping by?
Look, I cut my grass the other day, and I went over an anthill, and I didn't pay any attention to the ants there.
That's how the aliens fail.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or have you seen Star Trek? They have good explanations. Like they just watch us until we're ready.
We'll never be ready
Yeah.
at this rate. But one last thing I want to segue to Mikey. And as far as scary stories and scary places, Mikey, you lived next to a park, a closed down amusement park that was supposed to be haunted, correct?
Yes.
Did we have a story about going through that park one night?
Lincoln Park.
Well, one night we had a couple of friends over, around like 50
Couple.
or 60 people. And Steven thought that it would be a good idea to pick a fight with one of our really good friends. So we took Steven for a walk to Dunkin' Donuts. But remind you that we've probably been living in this property for about 2 weeks, so we didn't really know. It wasn't like you could jump on Google and see where you're going or Google Maps. So I was going to walk Steve to Dunkin' Donuts down the street.
But
unfortunately, that Dunkin' Donuts was closed. So we brought Steve all the way down Route 6, which is about 3 miles. And Steve wasn't going to make the trip. So on the way there, we found a BJ's shopping cart and threw Steve on that BJ's shopping cart and rolled him down all the way past the Dartmouth Mall, if you're familiar with that area. And once again, we're only 15 years old at the time. So we bring him all the way to Dunkin' Donuts. We finally get the donuts. We're like, man, it'd be good. We don't want to make that walk again. Let's find a taxi. So there was no taxis at this time, but fortunately there was a guy outside of Dunkin' Donuts that we paid our leftover cash to see how far he could take us. And I think as a humorous joke, he dropped us right in front of the abandoned amusement park, like right in front.
and
then
why
we
is that
just drove
abandoned?
away.
Why is that park abandoned?
I don't
Because
know,
what
Steve.
happened there?
What
Can we
happened,
tell?
Stu? Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of people died on the roller coaster and they had to shut it down. So it's like a very tragic park with like ghosts and haunting. So he left us there about midnight. I was drunk and Mike was just pushing me around
You
and
were
just
15,
dropped
you
us
were-
off in the middle of the park, of the amusement park, the haunted park.
How'd you guys pay this old man?
I'll give him
We
like
paid-
$10 or something. I don't
we-
know.
we had like enough to get us there. And so we're running all the way back and trying to figure out home. We called at the time, what was it, 411? Was that what it was?
Oh God, yeah, we called 411 for directions.
And the lady like stayed on the phone with us. It took us another like 30 minutes to get home. But yeah, it was really creepy. There was this eerie feeling too, for sure.
Yeah. And I recall, before you get into the manual, I recall as part of our trip home, we were stumbling through random people's backyards at like 1:30 in the morning. And all the time. So for those that are unfamiliar, probably most people with the Dartmouth area, Mikey's old house to that Dunkin' Donuts is like a solid 4-mile walk. So we were gone for like 3 or 4 hours just trying to get this Dunkin' Donuts and get back. The whole time, Mike has like 50 people at his house just partying, and we're just stumbling through people's backyards in the middle of town.
So wait a minute. I just did a bit of research on this, and in 1968, that park. So this is the one that basically So let's see. The sun had already set, meaning the small children had left the kiddie rides, and 9 hurt on the roller coaster. 2 cars derailed in Lincoln Park. Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah. Now nobody died though, right? They got hurt.
Oh, I thought someone died.
Man, it was fun when we thought somebody died.
That was way better there was a better story when people died. Thanks, Emmanuel.
There's major injuries. So it derailed and people got hurt.
People used to jump in. There's stories about people hitting a crane that's in there.
Yeah.
How many people died at Lincoln Park?
No, he did die. So somebody did die.
There we go. Someone died. I knew someone died.
Yeah, in 2001 though.
Okay, but still, someone died. I was right.
Yeah, but it happened in 1968, and he died in 2001.
Could it have been the guy that drove us home,
injuries.
Steve?
No, it was from injury.
Oh shit! It could have been the guy who drove us home.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, fun times at Mikey's place. We used to have some good times. I remember hiding in closets when police showed up.
Okay, wait. It gets better. Reports show that the occupants of the actual derailed car were shaking the car as it was going down. So they were on purpose. These are fucking guys from Massachusetts that are basically, it's the 3 of you guys sitting in a car going, "Hey, Steve!" That's literally what happened to it. So
I can see Thon doing that.
We never said Dartmouth was a fun place to live.
Sousa said it was later determined that the car was shaken off of the track from a defective track, but it was shaken by the occupants of the car.
So they deserved it, is what you're saying.
They deserved it. Yeah, they deserved it.
No one deserves any of that. That's tough.
Okay.
Death. So Emmy's saying they deserve to die. That's real nice of you, man.
Yeah. Real Canadian.
Someone died.
Some people deserve to.
Oh, there's pictures of it too. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else about the shenanigans, the dumb blank we did back in the day, Mike? Or you
Dude.
It's all up to you, man. I don't want you to spurge too much.
Nah, we gotta keep it for
We gotta
later
sprinkle
shows. We have so many stories and times.
Can I just say the one story that involves Ton? This isn't the story you're thinking of, Ton. So I remember one time you had a party at your house, and we were all there, and we were asleep at this point. It was like 2-3 in the morning, and your mom had just surprisingly came home.
Dude, that lady had a sixth sense, man.
She knew. So your mom came home, and I don't know what ensued, but all I heard was the phrase, "I'm going to have you drug and alcohol tested tomorrow morning," just screaming across the house. Meanwhile, like, we're all just like in the other various bedrooms, like hiding, like, holy shit, what is going on? And then there's just yelling for about 15-20 minutes, and all of a sudden, like, it's quiet. And I was in the same room as Ton. There was a couple of people, and Ton drove me to the party, and I was like, "Hey man, we should bounce. We should get out of here." And Ton's like, "Yeah, let's get the hell out of here." So we like snuck down the stairs as your mom was just raging in the other room, snuck by her, and slept in Ton's car. Like, I was in the passenger, Ton was in the driver's seat. We slept. Let me finish. We slept at the Taco Bell parking lot at the North Dartmouth Mall that night.
No, that's not how it went. So what happened was, right? Because I was the only one at the party not drinking. Remember that?
I do want to clarify. Mikey had people over all the time, and he was the only person who never drank, which is very responsible of you.
Thank you.
Nice.
So what ended up happening was my mom came in, right? And we're all hiding. There's about 13, 14 of us, right? Chris Psycholi was there. Alex Simon was there. It was a lot of
everybody was there.
Yeah.
Jimmy, yeah.
So Jimmy was, Mikey Johnson, Nikhil. So what ended up happening was, and Cargill's the menace out of this story.
Oh, it's always
Cargill put his vodka bottle in
the freezer.
fridge
Yes.
in the fridge, but not even the main house fridge. He was in the
The
apartment
apartment,
fridge.
yeah.
So my mom, she must have had a video or something of it. So she came in, went into the like, didn't even do like dropped her stuff and went right to that freezer, opened it, took it out, and then she started yelling all this stuff, Portuguese, you're gonna go do all this. So all of us went out with you guys and we all slept in our cars, but it was the BJ's parking lot that we all slept in.
I'm wrong. You're all right. I remember BJ's now.
Yeah. And then I just stayed with my dad for the next like a month.
And that is just one of many stories. There are some wild stories. Remember that little makeshift room you made in the basement?
Wait,
Whoa, that's gonna be for another time.
Mikey,
It was a dungeon.
We called it the cinema. We called it the cinema because it had this little tube TV with a VCR.
I love that basement. That had the big pool table, man. That place was awesome.
I bought that pool table like maybe 2 weeks before that, and Trudeau puked all over it.
Oh, that's for another time. I puked and destroyed his. I destroyed the entire pool table. That's for another time. If you're listening to the podcast, I got you next week. But before we get out of here, Ton, are you okay with us telling the story that we teased earlier in the episode about what happened at your football pregame?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. This is an all-timer. We'll get out of here on this one. This is worth it. If you're watching right now live or whatever, stay tuned because this is an all-time story. So for the football team, before every football game on Friday, we'd have a little team dinner on Thursday.
Spaghetti night.
Yeah, like a spaghetti night. So Ton's family, hosted, and Ton hosted. And he has this big old basement where, everyone's hanging out. There's TV, couches, whatever. And just to paint the picture for those listening, there's a TV and it's in the very corner of the room. So it's kitty cornered in the corner. So Ton's like, hey, I want to play this movie, whatever, everyone's here. This includes his family, his mom, dad, I believe his little cousins there, who's probably like 5-6 years old. Everyone, his sisters.
My father wasn't there because he would have kicked my ass. He was out on the
So your dad was there, your mom was there. And so Ton brings down his Xbox because, back in the day, most TVs didn't play movies. You didn't have streaming. So the Xbox has a DVD player. He brings it down from his bedroom. He goes behind the TV to hook everything up because that's how you do it back in the day, right? So he hooks everything up, turns on the power from the back when he plugs in the Xbox. And now if you ever owned a regular Xbox, you would know that, on those consoles, when you turn the power on, sometimes it starts playing whatever's inside the console. Well, Ton didn't check what was inside the console before he brought it downstairs. Now, just to paint the picture now for everyone again, his whole family's there, the entire football team. Ton's behind the TV. He's plugging it in. We're all watching the screen to wait for this thing to turn on. Plugs it in, turns on. It's a very strange image, very close. All we hear is
Pirates, man. Pirates. The first $1 million porn film. Me.
Yes, in front of everybody, 40 people, a porno. And the worst part was it wasn't like obvious at first, like a faraway shot of like two people fucking. No, it was like the close up of like penis and vagina just pounding. And there was a good 5 seconds where everyone just stared at it, being like, "Huh? What is this?" And then all of a sudden, the camera on the porno starts panning backwards, and we're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that was good.
And that was Ton's first and only time hosting the football team party.
We all got one turn, so.
Did Mr. White say anything to you, Coach White?
No.
Whoa, we have worse stories about that.
They tease.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that in this. Maybe we'll tease that for another time. There was another time that we got in some really big trouble and we almost lost our football season. But we'll save that for another episode if you're listening to the podcast.
That's what you were wearing the newspaper.
All right. Ladies and
that
gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. I hope you had a good time. We definitely had a good time. If you want more stories about our shenanigans, please tune in next week, the week after that, and you'll hear some more. I want to thank Ton Wenham for joining us today, buddy. Thank you for coming and wasting your time with us.
Yeah.
And we'll talk.
An hour of overtime pay?
We owe you an hour of overtime pay because he
hour.
quit his job working on spaceships to come hang out with us.
You owe us an hour for being late.
Not an hour, half an hour.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the We Got Balls podcast. We'll talk to you next week. Peace out.